The build for this train piece will actually start real easily. So I have some 1/4-inch dowels here. I would just masking tape them together in the approximate place where they'll be. They are about 22 centimeters long, and I also have this old CD from a printer that we no longer have, if I can pick it up. And I just sort of scratched it on the cement, and then I used my knife to score it where the X's are. I just sort of made an approximate pattern of the equal spacing that I wanted. I guess what you want to do is you want to hot glue your 4 dowels to come together at a point in the center, but above this. So it'll be up here and they'll be angled towards the center, kind of. Does that make sense? Now I have glued all 4 dowels together to make this tower structure. And I also put a bead up there to ensure that they don't separate. Now I need to do something about that hole in the center of the CD. So I'm going to take this tiny piece of foam board, which I sort of pressed in there to make sure it almost fit, and I'm just going to hot glue it in there. So I'll just put a nice little dab of hot glue around this thing, and I'm not worried about my application of it. I just want it to stick. I know this still doesn't look like anything, but once we start adding the sprue for the support, it should look a little bit better. With towers and bridges, you always get those triangles because they're the strongest shape for structural integrity, and for that I'm using sprue. This sprue was from the Dark Vengeance set, but you can use any sprue that you have from whatever game you have it from. So just take your pliers or your plastic cutters and cut some lengths that you think would go nicely on the diagonal here. So maybe I want it from there to there, so I'll trim it a little bit extra. Well, that actually did go flying that time. And I'll see if it fits within here where I want it. So that's sort of what's going to be on the whole tower, is that zigzag pattern support. And yeah, I will also trim off all these little extra bits using the flat side of these. And I shall now glue this one in place. So I said that I wanted it right about here. So right now I'm going to do another one, and I'll hot glue that in place as well. And you can see how it's really starting to look like a communication tower of some sort, which is actually what this is. So I will get back to you when I have all the rest of those sprue pieces done. So as you can see, I've done that lattice structure on each side. Looks like a little zigzag pattern on each side, and then if you look at it at the right angle, it'll look like the X's that towers actually have. Oh, there's hot glue strengthening. But now I have my hot glue warming up, and we are going to put a little platform up here for the satellite. For that I'm using just a little sheet of foam board. A bit of hot glue here. That's probably quite a bit. And slap it on the top. And now it looks like that. Another thing here that you can do with the tower is glue your water bottle cap to it. Run a bead along it. So you can see I have the stuff on the lip done, and I will run a bead along that. We should now actually make the satellite of this tower. With this, I am using the cone of the water bottle, and I will sort of paper mache on top of it and make hopefully a good satellite dish. Take your time with this. Also, don't cut yourself. Try and get it even, but it doesn't have to be. Wow, this blade's sharp. I cut it out and stuck it on some wax paper, and then I'm going to put some glue and water in here, and then dip my paper in there and just sort of wrap it around the water bottle. I've mixed up the glue and water to make this stuff, and now I'm going to dip the paper into it. Dip them in here, sort of get them all soaked, and then take our thing and wrap it with this stuff. We can cut away any extra if needed, so I'm not too worried about this. Okay, so this is sort of what we're working with, and after a little bit, after this is dried, maybe we'll coat it with another layer of paper or something. This is just to get the general shape of the satellite. I'd attempted one earlier with just using the water bottle and hot glue and the ping pong ball, and it didn't work. So I'm doing it this way and seeing if it'll work. If not, then this part of the video will be deleted too. Next, I'm taking this paper towel and I'm soaking it in the same stuff. and then I'm going to put that on the outside for the outside layer. Hopefully it looks good. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. I think that's way better, and I will let this dry too. This is dry now, and all that I've done other than letting it dry and take it off the water bottle is I have cut off the top part. And I think it looks good so far, but I'm actually going to fix up these little cracks on the inside here, and then I'm going to coat it with another layer of glue. And I'll get back to you once I am finished that. Now that I've sort of filled in those cracks in the satellite, I'm going to actually start installing it on the tower. And for this I'm just going to mount it on some foam board, and for the actual piece that turns it into looking like a satellite, I'm using a bamboo skewer and this screw that I roughed up on the cement. So hopefully the screw sticks together with the skewer. It should for sure on the screw side, it's very rough. We want to take this here, bring this all around, just glue it down to the foam board, and then we can cut the foam board out after. So when I think it's straight, try and put a little bit of glue up there, just to hold it in place. I'll just let that dry, and then I'll cut off the excess foam board, and then we can actually glue it on top of our tower. Okay, so I just cut out that rough outline. It doesn't have to be too fancy, and now we're just going to glue it to the top of our tower. So you can see that I actually cut a slit here, so that once the skewer goes in there, it can actually stay. So put some hot glue in there, stick that in the hole that was made, and then angle it appropriately. So I think an angle like that will look good. After that's dried, you just have to paint.